welcome to the Yoga Clinic. My name is Becca, and I am so glad that you were able to join me today for this yoga practice on strengthening our back body. I recommend 2 blocks for practice today and your mat, and we'll get started on our backs when you're ready. So we'll begin with the feet wide as the mat and the knees knocking in towards midline. One hand on the heart and one hand on the belly. This posture is very restorative for the back body. It allows the low back to relax, which is a place that many of us hold tension. And so the point of this practice is to strengthen areas of weakness and to bring some relief to areas that are frequently tight so that we can find more balance in our back bodies and a deeper connection to that space. The more we are able to confidently move into the future, feeling supported from behind, feeling connected and secure with our past and what has already come before us and has since passed by. And so I want you to take a moment here to really connect with the back body breathing, feeling all of the points of contact that your back body makes with the earth. Back breathing, as it is eponymously called, is very relaxing. When we take our awareness out of the head and out of what is directly in front of us, we can tap into a more embodied awareness. Last breath in, filling up all the way. And then we'll exhale with a gentle sigh out of an open mouth. Stretching the arms overhead. You can windshield wiper the knees from side to side. If that's comfortable for you. Good. We'll take the hands down by the sides, taking the feet about hip-width distance. And we're going to begin class with some pelvic clocks. So this is a physical therapy exercise for just making sure that the lower back is mobile. So it's a really good way to warm up some joints back there, L4, L5, which commonly give a lot of us problems. A lot of us end up getting arthritis in those joints because they're not moving properly. So anyway, imagine that you have a clock on top of your pelvis, and that 12 o'clock is your pubic bone, and 6 o'clock is your belly button, and each hip bone is 9 and 3. So I want you to imagine 12 to 6, rolling 12 to 6, that's pubic bone to belly. And then can you work 9 to 3? Kind of wagging the hip side to side. And if you can't really quite get this the first time, just practice. This is a part of the body that a lot of us have a dearth of awareness. And awareness can be cultivated, as we know through yoga. Good, back to 12 and 6. And 9 and 3. And then can you do like 2 o'clock to 7? Can you do 10 o'clock to 4? And then what about 8 o'clock to 1? And then we'll do about 4 o'clock to 11. we'll go all the way around the clock, clockwise direction, and counterclockwise. Good, and then free movement here, just rolling around the pelvis. For me, it cracks a lot back there. I've confided before on this channel that I have a lot of lower back instability, which causes a lot of pain. So if that's happening for you, know that that can be normal. All right, we'll find some stillness here. Taking the hands down by the sides, we're going to find some rolling bridges. So walking the heels in until your fingertips touch your heels. Insides of the feet are parallel. Taking the shoulder blades underneath your back, and then relax your core, relax everything. So in order to strengthen the back body, back bends are very low-hanging fruit. It's not just about your back. In fact, it's very much about your legs and your core as well in order to support the spine in back bending. So feeling for digging into the heels to start, and then energetically pulling them in towards your butt. So if you need to walk your feet farther away to feel this motion, do so. And then you'll notice that the hamstrings begin to fire. Good, now, without lifting your hips off of the mat, think about pulling the low belly down towards your spine. Good, heels dig in and towards your butt, and then low belly down towards the spine. Good, now lift your hips and feel how supported they are here. Good, heels back towards your butt, low belly to spine. Good, and lower everything down. So the last piece of this is we're gonna grab our blocks and place one in between the thighs. So obviously for different bodies, we might need to focus on different things. These are things that tend to be neglected often in back bending, and it's how people end up hurting themselves in back bends because they're dumping into the low back without supporting it properly. So we've got the block in between the thighs. Now we're gonna add on the inner thigh piece. So hips are down, we'll press into the heels, draw them back. Good, so that's already pretty hard. You can lift the toes if that's helpful to kind of envision. Good, belly draws down. Keep your low back relaxed, and now squeeze the block. Good, now press the hips up. You can keep your toes off the mat if that's helpful for you. Good, so notice that well, you might not notice this. I'm not clenching my low back here. It's nice and loose and relaxed, actually. I can move it around. The activation is coming from the legs and from the core. Now, naturally, the glutes do engage here. And the glutes are responsible for extending your legs backwards, extending your thigh bones backwards. So they will naturally engage, but we don't want to overgrip, because if we overgrip the glutes, it's actually going to put more stress on the low back than is needed. Good, and then come all the way down. Okay, release the block. We're gonna do some rolling bridges. You can keep the block there actually if you want to just kind of remind yourself. I challenge you to do rolling bridges with all those points of activation without the block. So digging into the heels, belly down, energetically firming the inner thighs in towards one another. Lift the hips, all the way up to the shoulders, and then rolling shoulders back down to hips. And one more time. Good. Gather the knees into the chest. Give yourself a little rock. Okay, now let's find the full length of the spine. We'll begin to rock forward and backwards. Keep your chin tucked so that you're not banging your head on the floor. Tight little ball here. And then coming all the way up to balance on the sitting bones, you can start with the toes down. We are going to do some core work here. Having a strong core is very important for back bending. Again, we want that, well, not again, but we want that counterbalance whenever we're stretching. We want to make sure that the opposing action is also strong so that we're not forcing the joints in one direction over time repeatedly. Obviously, that can cause some wear and tear. So the front body is going to be important to stay strong for a strong back body, and vice versa. So with that, we will take Navasana. We can modify it, it's no problem. Knees can draw into the chest. We'll point the toes. And then thinking about hollowing out the low belly. Imagine that I had a really tight belt or a tie. I was going to tie around your low belly and cinch it down. So you would want to hug that belly in to try to fit. Ooh, try to get the button of those tight pants closed. Ooh, suck the belly in. Yeah, just like that. And then grow taller through your torso. Think about spreading through the back of the rib cage. Reach your arms forward. Keep the upper arm bones plugged in towards your shoulders. Look forward and breathe. Very important last piece there. Good, toes come down. Grab hold of your blocks. If you don't have blocks for practice today, you can do this without blocks. It's gonna be harder though. So just a little bit more core hip flexor work for now. Blocks will come down by your hips. Take the hands on top, feeling for the palms rooting down, fingers spreading wide. Legs are crossed. We'll press down into the hands to lift the hips off of the mat, and if you can, lifting the toes off of the mat also. Good, for 5, press down into the hands. 4, pelvic floor draws up. 3, knees drawing in towards chest. 2, navel in. And 1. Woo, okay. Switch the cross on the legs. We'll do just one more of those. Ready? Inhale. Exhale, let's go. How tight can you squeeze the legs in towards your body? Strong arms hugging the arm bones in for 5. 4, steady gaze. 3, steady breath. 2, belly in, and 1. Whew. Sit down. My hip flexors are real tired from that. Let's stretch them back out. We'll start with the right leg at the top of the mat, left leg back, finding a runner's lunge. You can keep the back toes tucked or not, totally your choice. This feels really good for me. You can also choose to rise up onto the front knee and stretch the back hip flexor that way. Good, hands come down. Inside of the right foot, we'll kickstand the left leg behind and walk the hands to the back of the mat. Right leg reaches, or right arm reaches up to the sky, left hand stays down. Front leg straightens. This is called gate pose. Circle the right arm behind you, down by your side. Just imagine what it would be like to grab for the right foot here. Good, circle the arm back overhead and crawling back towards the front of the mat. Left foot steps up to meet the right, and then the right foot steps back. Right knee drops. We'll find our hip flexor stretch on the other side. Good, both hands come down inside the left foot. Kickstanding the right leg behind you. We'll find gate on the other side. And then again, I challenge you to circle the left arm back behind you. And then just imagine what it would be like to grab for that left foot. What would have to happen? Good, and then circling the arm back overhead and crawling back towards starting position. Right foot steps up to meet the left. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold down. Drop your head. Good, bend the knees a lot, let the fingers be heavy, roll all the way up to stand. Roll the shoulders back. Actually, grab your block and we'll put it between the legs here. So coming back into Urdhva Hastasana, arms are reaching up, feet are pressing down, feeling the whole side bodies lengthen as you squeeze the block. And the block is going to keep the hips square. It's going to keep our legs engaged while we do this exercise. So we're going to keep lifting up through the heart, keeping a nice, steady, strong, low belly and legs. Lift up through the heart. Lift, lift, lift. Good. Now interlace the fingers, take them behind your head. And imagine almost like you're gripping the back of the head with your palms. You're pulling up, pulling the neck up, and then lifting through the back of the heart. You can press your hips forward slightly. Lift, lift, lift. Good. Coming back up to stand, Urdhva Hastasana, arms reach up. And let them come down. I'm going to do that 2 more times. So this exercise is really good for mobilizing the thoracic spine. Again, a lot of us have a lot of mobility in the lower spine, and so that takes a lot of the brunt and back bending. So this is going to strengthen and lengthen the thoracic spine, which is very tight in a lot of people, especially people who walk around and work and drive kind of like this. All right, Urdhva Hastasana, reach up. Get tall through the upper body, strong through the low body. Feel for the low back relaxed, belly drawing in and up. Good, hands come to the base of the skull. Interlace the fingers, elbows can point up to the sky. Lift the heart, tilt the chin. Lift the heart, tilt the chin. You can press the hips forward slightly. Don't have to do anything crazy here. As you can see, I'm not going that far back, but I am feeling a lot of activation happening in my mid and upper back. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze the block. And come back, Urdhva Hastasana. And hands come down. How are you doing? Are you doing okay? This is hard work. Good. All right. Find your feet, find your legs, squeeze your block. Feel for any tension that you're holding in your low back. Try to release that. Urdhva Hastasana, arms reach up. Last time, interlace the fingers, cradling the back of the skull with the hands. Elbows can point up to the ceiling. Lift your chin, lift the heart. Keep the legs engaged, low back relaxed, belly in. Lift and lengthen. Lift and lengthen. And rise up, Urdhva Hastasana. And release the block. Exhale, let's fold all the way down to the floor. Bend the knees. Whoo! Inhale, look forward. And then exhale, let's step the left foot back. For a high lunge this time. We're up all high on the back of the ball of the back foot, lifting the arms up to the sky. Good. So we're going to find a humble warrior here. Interlacing the fingers at the low back, pressing the knuckles down, lifting the heart. Just staying here for a moment. I want you to feel like you're springing forward off of the back leg. The front foot is just stopping you from springing all the way. Good, now dive forward. Tuck your chin. Coming up onto the ball of the back foot, heel over the toes, and then taking the fist overhead. Working on keeping the hips square, drawing the right hip back and in towards the left heel. Back leg is engaged. Squeeze the palms together like you've got a lemon between your hands, and then rise all the way up, keeping the chin tucked. And release. Drop the back knee down. Take the hands down, tuck the back toes. We'll find a half split here, just to release some of that work in the front thigh. Good, and then coming back forward. We'll keep the back knee down this time, and then walk it back slightly if you can. So we are going to find a back-bended lunge from here, rising up, taking the hands on top of the right thigh. So I want you to, again, think about the back leg springing you forward. It's creating momentum. And the front leg is just here to stop you from going all the way. It's basically like a kickstand. So in your lunge, just like when we did our standing and lying versions of this, you have to find proper activation in the low body and core first. So use this front heel, try to dig it down and in, feel this front hamstring turn on. Belly draws in and up, the back glute is super active here. Energetically hug the inner thighs together. Good, so this is already a lot of work. Maybe you just want to work this today, that's fine. Otherwise, we'll take the arms overhead, interlace the fingers, cradle the back of the skull. Good. Begin to tilt the chin up, lift up through the back of the heart. So imagine, back of the heart lifts up into the front of the heart. Arms reach up, and then take the hands down. Tuck the back toes. Lift up the right leg and step it back to meet the left, plank pose. Inhale. Exhale, lower all the way to the belly. You guessed it. Back strengthening 101 is on your belly. So we'll take the hands down by the sides, fingernails down onto the earth, toenails down on the earth. And we'll take a modified locust to start. So pressing down into the toenails and fingernails, and then just lifting up the head and shoulders off of the mat. Can you really press down into the backs of the hands and into the tops of the feet? Squeezing the shoulder blades together, keeping the chin drawing in. Gaze down the bridge of the nose. And lower. We'll do that again. This time we'll lift the legs, just keeping the fingernails down. Ready, set, go. Head lifts, feet lift. Keep the big toes together. Lift the legs even higher. Press down into the backs of the hands. Draw the shoulder blades together and down towards your hips. Lift, lift, lift. And lower. Good, very last version of this, we're gonna lift up everything. So we're balancing just on the belly. Ready, set, go. Lifting up the head, chest, lifting up the hands and the legs, pressing down into the pubic bone, and keeping the belly pulling in. Reach the hands back towards the ankles. And lower. Hands into the shoulders. Press up, plank, and back, down dog. Good work, yogis. Doing really well here today. Look towards the hands. Step or float your feet to the top of the mat. Making sure that you still have one block at the top of the mat. We're going to inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold in. Grab your block and roll to stand. Okay, we're going to do all of that again. You think you can manage? I hope I can. So the block is going to go in between the legs like a Pez dispenser. Just like a piece of Pez. All right, rooting down through the feet, strong through inner thighs, outer hips, belly. We'll just do this one time on this side, or this round. Arms reach up, Urdhva Hastasana. Lengthening through side bodies. And then cupping the back of the head with the hands, pointing the elbows up. So I'm going to offer you a deeper variation. This time it's optional. First, we'll all start the same way, keeping the legs engaged, pressing the back of the heart up towards the sky, lifting the chin. Good, stay here, or you can keep all your fingers except the pointer interlaced. Point the pointer fingers back, straighten the elbows, as if you were pointing to something on the wall behind you. Looks like this. Biceps by your ears, lift from the heart. Rise up, keep the legs engaged, and release, fold. Release the block. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, right foot steps back, high lunge. Rise up, arms reach up. Finding your stance here. Hamstring, glute, low belly. We'll set up for our humble, interlacing the fingers, pressing the knuckles down, lifting the back of the heart up. Keep the belly engaged. And then dive forward, tuck the chin. Take the fist overhead. Curl in. high on the back toes. Squeezing the palms together like you're squeezing a citrus fruit. Keep that energetic squeezing to rise all the way up, steady on the legs. Arms reach up. And then flutter the hands down, back knee down, Ardha Hanumanasana. Good, coming back forward. This will be our last standing posture. Hallelujah. So we are in a long, low lunge. Coming up onto the front thigh with the hands, if that's comfortable for you. And then we're gonna find our back bend here. So I'm actually gonna tuck these back toes. It doesn't matter what you decide to do. Find your activation. Front hamstring, back glute, low belly. And then take the arms up, cupping the back of the head, and then lifting up through back of the heart to front of the heart. Release, hands come down, left foot steps back to meet the right. Plank pose all the way to the belly. Take the hands down by your sides. Good. So we're gonna pick up where we left off, where we're gonna find our locust variation. This time we're gonna add bent knees. And then we're gonna do it one more time for Dhanurasana, bow. So when you're ready, lifting the head, lifting the legs, lifting the arms back. Find that height first. Now, bend your knees. Flex your feet. Nothing else to do here. You can just imagine reaching for your heels. What would that be like? And feel as you bring the heels towards your bum that the hamstrings really activate. Can you lift the thighs higher off of the mat as you reach back further with the hands and taller with the crown of the head? Release, come down. Take a breath. Okay, last time here, finding Dhanurasana. Bend your knees and grab your ankles. So you can point the toes or flex them here, it's personal preference. We want to try to keep our toes moving towards one another. They don't have to touch. So when you're ready, we'll lift the head. Good, and then we're going to kick into the hands. And that's going to find our back bend here. And then can you lift your thighs a little more? So see how in this back bend, the legs are really driving the whole posture. That is actually the case for all back bends. Two more breaths. Release. Opposite hands, or cross your forearms under your forehead. Take the legs up in the air and just kind of sway your calves and shins from side to side. Feet come down, pressing up into our high cobra. Keep saying that. Taking a moment here. And then finding your way onto your butt. And lying down. So we will take Urdhva Dhanurasana, which is wheel, 2 times with the block to undo all the back bending, counter stretch, and that will be it. You were doing so good. I know my back is going to be really sore tomorrow, which is a good thing. That's what we were going through. are going for. So we'll grab the block for this first wheel, and then for the second one, it is optional. Putting it between the legs, just like how we started class. Walking the heels in so the fingertips can graze them. That's not a hard, fast rule. Obviously, some of us have longer arms versus legs. It just gives you a good idea of where they should be. Now, we're gonna do everything that we did for bridge, except this time we're gonna have the hands by our ears with the fingers pointing to the elbows. So, if you turn your fingers out slightly, it's going to make this pose more accessible for people with really tight shoulders. I know for a lot of male and male identifying people, the shoulders can be a limiting factor in wheel. So you can try turning your fingers out to the side slightly. It's going to open across the chest and shoulders a little more and create more space. Also, you can make this long. It doesn't have to be by your ears. As long as your palms, the root of your palm can come close to flat, you can go from there. So for me, I'm going to bring it more towards my ears. Good, okay. So squeezing your block, driving the heels down and towards your butt. You can even lift your toes. That'll help you find that peace while we're on our backs. Belly draws in and up. Low back is nice and loose. Good, and we can just stay here, lifting the hips, making sure that everything feels safe. Good to go. And now can you keep all of that and come onto the crown of the head? So for some of us, we might need to turn the toes out slightly. It just means that the hip flexors are a bit tight. It's okay. I would try not to go out all the way, just because that's going to, in turn, begin to compress the back over time. Okay, so if you're getting the green light from your body, let's go ahead and lift up. Finding those points, inner thighs, back of thighs, low belly. Low back is loose, pressing into the hands. And then tucking the chin and coming down. All right, one more like that. I'm gonna remove the block for this one. It's your choice, dealer's choice. So you need to feel what is safe and good in your body. But try to use these anchor points that we've been talking about as a reference. If things start to hurt, am I engaging my core? Am I using my hamstrings? Are my inner thighs hugging in? Okay, here we go. 5 seconds in your Urdhva Dhanurasana or your choice of back bend, please. Coming out slowly and with control, keeping the belly engaged as you descend. Good, and then we'll find our constructive rest, feet wide, knees together. One hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. Let the breath begin to regulate and settle.